Good afternoon, followers Swink. So this is the 18th Sunday morning time. This weekend I am going to preach about greed and also about the proper use of material possessions. But I want to talk about another topic that's maybe relevant to the summertime. And this comes up because I was at the airport and also spent some time with Brother Priest at the beach at a retreat center. And then we had a couple, went cycling one day and went by the beach. I noticed the fashions are less than modest. And I just think that it's something that especially Catholics have to take into consideration. St. Paul says in the second reading today, he says, put to death all things that are of the flesh. And what he means by that is like avoid things that will lead to sin. And I think dress code has gotten so abysmal in our society that even Catholics are unable to discern what's a proper dress code, especially when you go things like to the pool or the beach or so forth. I don't think there's any dress code because I think, quite frankly, there is no dress at all today. Now, I've been reading this great book, and I think any mother should read this. If you have teenage daughters, or you yourself should read it, or every father should read it. It's called Dressing with Dignity, written by Colleen Hammond, who was a model at one point, had a conversion, and she talks about how she had a conversion with the way she presented herself with her clothes. And now the Catholic Church, we have kind of gives us, doesn't tell us strict guidelines of how to dress, but it basically says that we should exercise the virtue of modesty, which means to cover what should be left, that should not be unveiled. It's I'm using a very simple sentence, to cover that which should not be unveiled. Okay. Now, the story goes, I was at the airport and this girl's walking down, and she must have been like 17 years old, and basically is wearing jeans that were completely shredded. You could see it from, 600 yards away, that she basically, it was like someone had thrown her jeans in a lawnmower, and basically she just put them on, and but the thing I was shocked, her mom was walking with her, who probably bought the jeans for her daughter. That's the thing that shocks me, is do mothers even care what their daughters wear anymore? Because quite frankly, it sends a message to guys. It sends a message to people around her about her dignity and worth. Our teaching on modesty teaches us that that a person is not a person to be objectified or used, or sort of a show to be pounced around. And I think people today basically just sort of, it's a big show-off fest of bodies when that really is not, in a sense of decency. Now, a couple of things that shocked me in this book. Did you know that the bikini did not come into the United States, or wasn't really invented until 1946, okay, worldwide? And when it came out, no one would wear it in Catholic countries. Read this, or I read this to you. In Catholic countries, Spain, Portugal, and Italy, the bikini was banned. Decency leagues pressured Hollywood to keep it out of the movies. One writer said it's a two-piece bathing suit which reveals everything about a girl except for her mother's maiden name. Now today, I would say there's nothing veiled, and I think Catholics, especially parents, need to consider what is one allowing the young to wear, or even question is, what are you wearing when you go out in public? Okay, is it something that's decent or modest? Okay, I think there actually has been a concentrated effort from the powers above or below to do this. And I don't know if you know what Freemasons are. If you are a Freemason, by the way, you are excommunicated by the Catholic Church. It's in the 1983 Code of Canon Law. However, that's another video. But in this, they actually, Freemasons really, let's just say this, one of their MOs is to take down the church and decency. Now this is in a international review public statement they put out in 1928, and it said this: "Let us not grow tired of corruption. We must use a pretext such as sport, hygiene, health resorts. It is necessary to corrupt that our boys and girls practice nudism in dress. To avoid much reaction, one must have to progress in a methodical manner." Now, notice the devil doesn't work like all at once, because if he did so, we would just react. So this is how they went about doing this. First, undress up to the elbow, then to the knees, then arms and legs completely uncover, later upper part of the chest, the shoulders, etc. Well, I have to tell you, brothers and sisters, they have been successful in doing so. So my question is, when are we going to begin to dress again with decency? It's our Catholic obligation. And I'm not saying that we have to become Amish and that we have to sort of walk around like this, but when we dress, do we do so with modesty? Have a great weekend. Peace.